mobile vibes. Let me make sure it's sounding good because I don't want it to be muffled as we go on here. Let's make sure they can hear us. Not this live. Come tap in. Come tap in. We're going to talk about the Colorado Rockies. That's crazy to say 2 months ago. Why do the live say 2 months ago?
No, the one that we just pushed.
The one that we're doing right now. It say we're live 2 months
2
ago.
months. Back from the future.
We back from the future. We knew what was gonna happen this game.
Yeah, man, time traveling. If you would listen to us when we was in the past, you'd be up a lot of money right now.
Oh yeah. All right. So we sound good. So whenever you come in our live, make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button. Y'all know whenever I go live, the participation have to be at 50%. So if we get 10 people in here, we need 5 likes. We get 100 people in here, we need 50 likes, all that good stuff. Come on in, come tap in. Let me know y'all thoughts about this game.
Colorado.
So here, what was the score?
The score was 27-20, Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech was a favorites 3.5 to win by 4 points. They covered the spread. What did both QBs do? Give us the stats first before we do a breakdown. What both QBs
All right,
did.
so QB. Let's see. Haynes King was 13 for 20, 143 yards. He averaged 7.2 and 1 interception. He didn't throw a touchdown, yo.
No touchdowns, but 1 interception. That's the Georgia Tech QB?
Yeah, Georgia Tech QB. So he was 13 for 20 with 143 yards and 1 pick. So he didn't do much in the air. Colorado.
The Bear baby, what's going on?
Yeah.
What's popping?
Salter was 17 for 28, 159, and 1 touchdown. QBs really didn't do much in the air. It was basically a ground and pound type of game.
Not looking at the run, what you got?
All right, so King for Georgia Tech, Haynes King.
Oh, that's the quarterback.
Huh? Yeah.
Jeez, yes, bro, that's the quarterback?
Yes, dog.
Drop 156?
156.
Come on, bro.
He was that boy on the ground, dog. They couldn't stop him. He was Michael Vick. Who?
Georgia Tech quarterback had 156 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Touch.
Killed them, bro.
For 19 carries. He was out here.
8.2 yards
a carry, yo. And this, probably their starting running back was Jamal Haynes, and he had 16 carries for 65 yards, 0 touchdowns. He averaged 4.1 yards for this game.
What about Colorado?
Let's see. Colorado, he was 11 carries. They started running back Micah Welch was 11 carries for 64 yards.
That's good.
0 touchdowns, though. He averaged 5.8 yards a carry. They should have gave him the ball more, man. If he averages 5.8, give him to him twice. So, the math will, but you know.
My initial reaction with this game. Going into the game, I told you guys yesterday, my gut, I had Georgia Tech winning. My heart, I wanted Coach Prime them to win because we just didn't know. No Shador, no Travis. And going into the game, I was like, did Prime fix the offensive line? How was that? The offensive line looks solid. This game so far, he fixed the offensive line. My man had protection. Do it show how many sacks he gave or go to team stats? Let's see if it says something about
total yards, rushing yards, penalties.
I want to see how many sacks. See how many sacks he got. So the problem is their defense have been absolutely abysmal ever since Prime got there and before he got there. And the defense is still absolutely trash.
Okay, so here go Georgia Tech's defense. So
okay, so you can look at it that way and just look at sacks. Just look at sacks. So you got 1 sack, right? Oh, so only
1 sack.
Only 1 sack.
Yeah.
Only 1 sack. How many the Prime defense?
Colorado. So
Let's see.
they only
One
had
sack.
one sack.
1 sack on both sides.
What are we doing out here, bro?
So
I guess it's kind of hard to sack a QB that's running up the middle y'all and getting
running for
a buck.
156
Yeah,
yards.
bro. It's kind of
Because
hard
if
to
you
say.
coming, he's running. You
He's
coming,
running
he's
right
running.
past you.
So my thing is their offensive line got better. Their defense is still trash. The new quarterback absolutely can't throw on a run. Can't hit the open player. He's not bad, but I thought the other player was going to start. And I'll tell you the back end of it, things I didn't like. But Georgia Tech covered the spread. What's your initial thoughts?
Are you talking about the other player? Could be Joseph Williams. That's the
N-
only other QB
no,
that kind of
no,
got in there.
his name is.
Okay. Um, it was a setup game. I mean, them and Georgia Tech is basically on the same level, unfortunately. But Georgia Tech, we're not really looking for Georgia Tech for football or basketball, almost any type of sports right now. But if they're losing to them, it could be a long season, man. They just, like I said, their offensive line was better. It looked like defense looked like the same as last year, man. Just wasn't it?
The number one problem I have about the whole game. I love Coach Prime. I'm number one Coach Prime fan. But I said it back in Jackson. Coach Prime is a bad play caller. He's a bad and he
His offensive coordinator is a
or
bad play
whoever's
guy.
calling the
Yeah.
plays is calling absolutely terrible plays because towards the end of the game, we don't watch the first half. We watch some third quarter and we watch the fourth quarter. Towards the end of the game, y'all stopped them. They had to punt the ball. You had about 3 minutes, right? You got about 3 minutes. You got the ball. It's 20-20. You got to just go down and score and you got to milk the clock. You throw the ball on first down, do decent, and second down, because I think, let's say if you need like 3 or 4 yards or whatever it is. Second down, you don't run the ball. Y'all been running the ball good all game. You don't run the ball, you throw it, incompletion. Now you got to throw it again, incompletion, and you screw. Now you got a fourth down. You don't get it. You got to get a ball back. As a play caller, you have to milk the clock. You have to read the room. You guys are at home. You got to run the ball and see if it worked because it's been working all game. I think the play calling is what cost them because y'all had 3 turnovers. 3 turnovers, meaning y'all got 3 turnovers and y'all lost 0. Y'all took the ball from them 3 times, lost 0, and still lost at home.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
unacceptable.
That's unacceptable because that last drive before Georgia Tech scored, that was their drive to hold the ball, run the ball, keep the clock or whatever, keep the clock on their side, keep their defense off because we can't trust on them. You can't depend on their defense. They was definitely supposed to run the ball because that's just what has been working. They put too much on that young QB at the time, and it ended up costing them. Not, I mean, it might not be Deion Sanders' job to call the plays, but where he botched that 100% was time management at the end of the game. You leave a game, you losing with 2 timeouts is just simply unacceptable.
I
Unfortunately,
forget
yeah,
he didn't use one of those
yeah.
timeouts.
So it was like you had 1 man left. You had the ball with 1 man left,
You know you going for it
and
on fourth.
yeah, you got to go for every fourth. And then there was one that you didn't make the first down. It was third down. You were supposed to call a timeout. You didn't. You ran off another 15 seconds, and now you're dealing with 15 seconds, and those timeouts almost became irrelevant, man.
And
So
and you got a young player. That young player, remember that play at the end when he ran the ball
mm,
and he posed to just slid once he got that first down because the time was going to stop.
yeah,
But he ran backwards and then ran out of bounds.
yeah,
That was
right
like eight
about.
seconds that you gave the team that you didn't
Right.
suppose to give the other team.
So he definitely botched the time management, man, and he put his. I think he a sophomore QB.
D said didn't King used to play for Texas A&M? I don't know. We gotta look that up.
Uh,
Did he
you
used to
said
play?
who said King?
Yeah, they Georgia Tech Georgia Tech
All right, I'm about to look it up right now.
quarterback. Then he said he's looking like Lamar Jackson.
Man, for real.
Dog, 150 yards, 3 touchdowns away. You wasn't even at home. Yeah, he was looking better than Lamar Jackson. That's crazy. Yeah, King was the man in Texas, but transferred to Georgia Tech. So,
He was at the University of Texas,
we
or
about
he
to
does
look it up. What you looking at?
No.
What is you Googling, bro?
But I had the box scores in the other one, so I had to open up.
Yeah, get his
Okay.
Let's see. Look at him. Find his story.
Education.
I think Shamar is calling the plays on offense.
Yeah, he played for the Texas A&M.
Texas A&M, a dual threat quarterback. He's definitely a dual threat quarterback. Bo is cold. So he said Shamar is calling offensive plays. Austin say the offensive coordinator sold. Bad play calling. Hey, people coming in here, y'all know whenever I'm live, keep the likes at 50%. So if we got 10 people in here, we need 5 likes. If we got 100 people in here, we need 50 likes. Keep the participation going. Let us know where y'all checking in from. Put them in the comments.
Yeah, King was that dude. Like I said,
6'3", 216.
Yeah,
and he a senior.
Yeah, he ain't a small dude.
He ain't new to this. He true to it.
Yeah, he definitely played like it was. He didn't do up in the air, but you don't have to do up in the air when you're running like that.
Quincy from Louisiana. You was just in Louisiana, wasn't you?
Yeah, I was out there, man. Good job.
Quincy, you from Baton? I think Quincy. We got 2 Louisianas.
Hey,
Baton Rouge. I bet I'm calling it Baton Rouge. Y'all in Baton Rouge, best shrimp po' boy I ever had in my life.
dang, you risk your life for that shrimp po' boy?
The best shrimp po'. I wouldn't eat it again, but it was the best I had in my life. I can tell you exactly where it's at. Pull up Colorado schedule.
Right.
I want to see their schedule because we're gonna predict how many wins they probably gonna get. Lafayette, we got Lafayette in the building, Louisiana. Because this my problem here. Watching this first game, this season don't look like it's probably gonna look good for Coach Prime. Because when we was talking on live earlier, my goal for Colorado is to make a bowl game and to win a bowl game. Because I got them regressing after you lose your Heisman Trophy winner that played on defense and offense. So you losing your best defensive player and your best offensive player and losing your quarterback, who is the most accurate in all of college football.
I think the only thing that they have going for them is they're not in a strong conference.
Your schedule is not.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you got Delaware. I'm assuming that's Delaware.
You got to beat Delaware.
Yeah, but they must want to get beat by Houston. That's rough for them.
At Houston.
Yeah.
Wyoming, you got to beat Wyoming.
BYU. TCU.
BYU. Didn't BYU? Who was that beat them that last game? Was it BYU or Boise? No, it wasn't Boise State.
Was it Iowa State?
No, it'll start with a B, whatever the team. TCU.
They could put some
You
points.
got
Iowa State.
Iowa State is ranked.
2-2. Utah's
always tough. At Utah, they ain't gonna beat Utah at Utah.
Arizona.
That's gonna be tough.
We got Rich Rod back at West Virginia.
Tell you swear.
You back there now.
You ain't gonna do that.
Arizona State.
Ranked number 11. You gonna lose to them.
Kansas State. That's rough.
That's a rough schedule, bro.
And they're crazy for anybody else. It wouldn't be that rough, right? But for them, that's a rough schedule.
So let me see. We counted the win. We counted Delaware.
Yeah.
Wyoming. Yep. Possible BYU.
Pop.
And a possible West Virginia University. We call them 4 wins. So we got Kansas State a loss, Arizona State a loss, Arizona a loss, Utah a loss. Who is that? ISU.
It was
is that
Iowa State. Iowa State.
They ranked higher, so we just gonna give them that.
Iowa State can ball, yo.
5. TCU, they could win.
You're right. That's the possible.
That's a possible. That's 5 wins. Ooh. We got 5 wins for them, Hugh.
Yeah. And that's just kind of being nice because they can easily get beat by BYU. BYU just have that neck for just
What is the bowl eligibility? 6 games? Is it y'all? Is it Chad? Is it 6 wins?
It was 6 or 7.
I think it's 6 wins for bowl eligibility. Cause my goal for them this year is just literally 6 wins. Go to bowl and win that bowl because you won 9. I think the first year that was there, because before Prime got there, they won 1 win. They had one. There was a 1-win team. After that, I believe they
It was like
won
5.
like 5-ish.
Yeah.
Then last year they won 9. I'm got them going down to 6. You get 6 wins because after losing all of that, and you don't know your quarterback situation. That quarterback, if anybody watching, y'all see, because everybody didn't give Shador credit now with this NFL debacle. You see the difference of a quarterback that's accurate and hitting the wide open players.
And like most importantly, well, not most importantly, but just throw on a run, man. When you scramble and you out there and making something happen, 0-0, you can't do that if you can't throw on a run. And then what he was showing, he was just missing the wide open people when he wasn't just set in the pocket. And that just can't happen.
How long before Prime get a other quarterback a chance?
Well, as of right now, Delaware, they better win that. If they don't,
If
it's gonna look
they
murky.
he's going third game, it will change if they lose against Delaware.
Because they probably gonna get punted by Houston. So he probably looking at probably BYU or TCU game, and they just want to see what they got.
Juan say they aren't winning against Houston.
Yeah, we said that. Yeah,
CU isn't winning 6 games. I couldn't find 6 games. Yeah. I couldn't find 6 games.
We said 5 and impossible because even with this Georgia, they was supposed to beat Georgia Tech.
You got 3 turnovers, bro.
Yeah.
You got 3 turnovers. They scored 7 off 3 turnovers. 3 because the quarterback only scored 1 passing touchdown off of a turnover, and it was like a 10-yard pass.
Yeah, and Georgia Tech isn't no world beaters. They're bottom feeders of the ACC. So if you having rough with that, what you gonna do at the top of your conference?
You gotta think, Hugh. Going into halftime, shouldn't y'all say, "Hey, we need a QB spy. We gotta stop this QB from running."
He can't throw the ball. He wasn't throwing it. I don't know if he can't or he didn't have to. Either one.
He need to.
It's just like
he got 3 touchdowns for 156 yards. Like that quarterback is in a Heisman race right now.
Right now,
Georgia Tech quarterback is in a Heisman race leading with 3 touchdowns. No player probably in college right now got 3 touchdowns. Yeah. And a running 156 yards.
Right, week 1, and he did it against a higher profile team, even though it was a team that it's just.
Let's get the likes up to 10. We got 3 likes. Let's get the likes. Y'all want us to continue the video? We taking our time talking to y'all. Get the likes up to 10. We need 7 more likes.
It's just. The defense is most disappointing. When it
6 more likes. Don't give them nothing else, Hugh. Don't give them nothing else, man. You got to be mean. You got to be mean to get the likes.
I'm sorry. You got to be an a-hole.
You got to be an a-hole. I'm the bad cop. We need 6 more likes. Hugh was about to give y'all these bars. While y'all watching, all y'all thumbs just got to do is just do this. Just do a low thumb. And 5 more likes. Come on. Always remember, whenever I'm live, especially on Mobile View, 50% participation. So we got 24 people in here. We at least need 14 likes, but we just settling with 10. Come on, 4 more likes. Get the likes up. We are giving y'all some game on what we like, and I'll probably give y'all some plays for tomorrow.
Oh, I need 3 more.
3 more. Get 3 more.
I'll show some tits.
Don't do that. You can read the comments. You can read the comments. What D Will talking about?
What D Will talking about? Darren Williams. I'm trying to see.
I'm trying to see your like, but I'm trying to get the screen. Lando, hold on. There you go, D. Hey, holding that phone. Come on, 3 more likes, and we can get this video popping, baby. Come on, 3 more, and we can keep it popping. Y'all know I am infamous for ending the live in the middle of a hot take if we don't get these likes up. Y'all know I will end the live if we don't get the likes up. So 3 more likes, and y'all can hear me stop ranting, and we can talk football, and I'm going to give y'all some plays. If not, me and Hugh just going to debate about just random stuff.
Anime. We
On
don't
my
watch
way to work,
anime.
fellas. Love you guys. And what you got going on, D Will? I appreciate. D Will, did you figure out how to merge to Discord yet? Cause he been on Discord like, man, I ain't been able to merge it on from WAP. I just think you owe,
Wop, wop, wop.
and you you need to let one of your kids or somebody figure it out. He said, nope, still got to do it, man. You doing something wrong. 3 more likes, everybody that's in here. We need 3 more likes, and we could continue the live going. Come on, let's get them up. Participation.
Anticipation.
And we could
We out
keep it
here
going. We're talking
because
about the Colorado.
Rockies stack rocks like Colorado. Spanish champagne bottle bottle.
Don't redo it yet, cause I got to play for you. I got to play for
Me.
you. So don't
Look like
redo
a
it just
gospel
yet.
F and Jay-Z.
Don't just redo it just yet. So we gonna make it happen.
My pops knew he got
We got 8.
nut. Like what?
We got 8 likes, Hugh.
Because they like my bars.
They
Well,
like your
they
bars.
Jay-Z
Y'all
bars,
don't get
but-
these likes up. Hugh gonna get the rapping. We don't want Hugh to get the rapping.
They call me William H. I'm an all-time great.
We got Coach Prime talking. One more like.
I'm known from here to Michigan State. I'm out here to get this cake.
Coach Prime about to go
Out
crazy.
here to bake. Hot like fire, 400 degrees.
One more like.
Come on, bitch, please. Because Hugh got them bars.
Coach
Y'all
Prime
here
about
being
to do the
all-star.
press. We got 10 likes. There we go. See, y'all just need a Hugh to rap. We got the likes up. So, being honest, let's just say, if they have a losing season, do you see Coach Prime just grinding out and staying?
Yeah. At this point, I think he dug himself too far in the trenches. At this point, he no pun intended. I was gonna say 10 toes down, but he's on
rude.
7 a little bit.
Here we go.
Tonight, I think it was a pull hamstring.
So
Something like we tweaked the hamstring tonight.
who hamstring?
Oh Lord,
Yeah.
that's a tough one, especially provoking 3 turnovers.
Got to win with
Really
3
not
turnovers.
coming
Yeah,
up
he should be ashamed.
plentiful for that. It's not good.
They defense look good.
Who defense?
Got to be more explosive, more definitive, more
They got 3 turnovers.
decisive.
Never mind.
With what we're doing with the ball on offense. Defensively, we gave up 463 yards.
Jesus Christ.
Total
Damn.
offense. They ran for 320 yards.
Jesus.
You're not gonna win with those statistics. Tried many things. We tried blitzing, trying to fill every gap, but we couldn't get the job done. They were much more physical than we were. They were much more aggressive at times. We made some plays that we should have capitalized off some of the plays we made, but that first half we didn't. And now we're playing catch up aesthetically, and it's not like we were tricked, fooled, or anything. I think we had success running the ball at times as well, but we missed a few plays that we should have hit. I think you all saw that. But overall, man, you got to give them credit. They coached a heck of a game. They played a heck of a game. The quarterback started off horribly, but he picked it right back up and did his thing, man. So hats off to him.
Yeah, because you got to think, they quarterback, when we was looking at the stats, they quarterback had 2 turnovers in the first 2 drives, I believe. That's brutal.
That's brutal.
2 turnovers.
But E-Money talking about Michigan State taking over the Big Ten this year. Yeah, you don't even believe that.
You don't. Michigan State couldn't even cover the spread today. They made me lose money. Y'all couldn't even. They won, but they didn't cover the spread. They supposed to blew them out.
They probably gonna be like the 6, 7 team
In the Big Ten?
which is crazy.
Yeah, Michigan State gonna be trash. We ain't worried about y'all. Nobody worried about y'all. Y'all ain't worried about y'all.
Yeah. Y'all taking the season off. Anyways, I mean, Colorado, it just come down to the trenches, man. Like we were saying before, the biggest thing between the good schools and the great schools is the trenches, offensive line, defensive line. It look like the
Them big
offensive line,
corn-fed
yeah,
boys from Wisconsin.
it looked like the offensive line stepped up, but their defensive line was still last year and the year before that.
That's
So
crazy.
just like they didn't pick it up from there, and it showed. Like they couldn't stop the run, the QB run, or they was them gaps is open big enough that I could run through that thing, you know. So it just they defensive line was a big reason why they lost this game, and that's going to probably be the same story on repeat probably for the rest of the season, man.
Just yeah, because at least last year you had Shador and Travis.
Hmm.
You got Travis on defense can make a play, but no matter how much the defense gave up, you had Shador that can go down and score.
Yeah.
Now you don't have a Shador that can match them points.
Hmm.
So if you get down by a lot, we just seen that quarterback can't throw on a run. With this game, he didn't throw on a run at all
Yeah.
accurately that we
So
seen.
far. So
He
far.
could switch it up next game, but off we seen, that was definitely brutal. And D will say the defensive in Colorado, the defense is too small.
Yeah.
100%, exactly what Hugh just said.
To
It's
a
just, you
victory.
got
I
to
think
get them
our
big
special
boys,
teams,
man.
as I told you, would be special. I think they didn't get a kickoff return. Amada was Mata. We punted the ball well as well. So the special teams were special, but we got to do a better job offensively and defensively. And I will take the onus on that. We will do better next week. Let's go.
Hi, Coach. Nikki Edwards, Yahoo Sports. You mentioned their quarterback, 156 yards on the ground.
Yeah.
What was so challenging about containing him and minimizing his dual threat ability?
Opportunity. He had a tremendous amount of opportunities, and sooner or later, you know, you keep going to the well, something's going to happen, and they were committed to running their quarterback and making it happen. They were truly committed to that. We had some tremendous stops as well, but they kept going and going and going. I mean, I think we were tired and exhausted, whatever, and we should be, much as we trained on that last run, because we just didn't look like we normally look the whole entire game defensively.
I don't think it was their game plan to run the ball against Colorado. They just ran the ball and it worked
Yeah.
over and over and over again. Because you got to think, if you're stopping the run, they're going to stop running that thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was like, I don't think it was lack of effort. They were just too small, you know. They ran to some real ones, you know. They QB is not small either. He's 6'3", you
Jeez,
know.
a big boy.
He a big boy. So it's just like, I think Warren Sapp is their defensive line coach.
You think Warren Sapp should be able to get some recruits of some
Yeah.
big boys, right?
But sometimes, honestly, it's very rare that a school can pop through and get to the elites. The only one
Get
that
to the who?
get to the elites, get to the blue bloods. Let's just say the last 20 years, okay, of college football. I forgot who had it taken. They was kind of spot on. It could have been Colin or whatever, but in the last 20 years, the only school that kind of popped through the elites that wasn't the same old blue bloods of the last 100 years in college football was maybe Oregon. You know, Oregon didn't really start off as nothing, but then they got Phil Knight. You know, you have a Chico like that, and the money now he can push even more money into the actual players instead of facilities. They kind of popped into elite, but
That's
they
crazy.
still haven't
As you
won.
think about it, if it's like 6 teams, which or you go to the top 10.
10. You got 10.
You got the top 10, you got the Alabamas, you got the Ohio States, you got the Michigans, you got the
LSUs.
Texas, the LSUs, the Georgia,
Florida. It's all the Florida schools. So you got Florida
Miami.
State, and Miami.
And Miami just getting back.
Getting back. Florida State fell off.
Yeah, they fell off. They still off.
Yeah, and Florida kind of fell off, but still, they still been in that cycle, right? USC was in that cycle, but it's not. Let's say out of 20 teams, 15, 20 teams, it's always been them. You know what I'm saying? Colorado never really been that. You might see a team that have a hell of a run, And
Stanford randomly had a
yeah,
run when they
yeah,
had Harbaugh.
Boise State or
Boise State
something.
is trying right now.
West Virginia, when Rich Rod was there, they had a run. So you'll get a team, South Florida or even Cincinnati, but they never made to the national title like that. But when it comes down to the contenders, college football always been like the blue buzz or blue bloods.
I think it comes down to winning consistently and a coach staying there consistently. Good
Yeah.
coaching. Because you gotta think we had Lloyd Carr for a while. Before Lloyd Carr, we had what you call it, the OG
Yeah.
that was there. And
Bo Schembechler.
you had Urban Meyer at
Bo
Ohio State.
Schembechler.
You had what you call it in Alabama for the longest, Nick
Nick Saban.
Saban. So
LSU been consistently trading coaches, and they've been
yeah.
consistently getting national titles. But it's like those teams. It's like, so Colorado, Dion he's
But
going
you
up.
need in college, you need that. It's all about coaching. So if you got that superstar type coach, you can cross over. So Dion, you expect he should be able to cross over, right?
Yeah, you expect it, but what we said before, it comes down. It's not coming down to the skill players because he's getting the skill players. It coming down to that good old corn-fed boys up front, defensive line, offensive line. And right now, he's not. He didn't solve the
So that
defensive
is the
line.
real question, Hugh. We know Dion could get the flashy players. He can get the skill players, like you said. How do you get them big corn-fed boys
Yeah.
that we see? Like, for example, even we know Wisconsin ain't nothing this year. Nebraska ain't nothing. Nebraska and Wisconsin O and D line would destroy
Troy.
Colorado every time,
Oh
10 times out of
man,
10.
what? They'll put 500 yards on them boys.
So even though it's like they're not even going to top schools, but they have a big corn-fed boy culture, how do you break into that?
It's well, I think a lot of it. Colorado is not a big hub for recruits, right? So you're not getting in state. You're not getting in state
Yeah,
like
you
that.
ain't getting in state.
So you at this point you just shopping. You're just a neighbor. So you got what? You got reach into California, and then so at that point you're competing with USC, Oregon, and
They did get the big boy that was the number one recruit, the one that came last year. I can't think of his name. He got real cool with Shador. He was protecting him on the O line,
okay, but we still talking about defensive
defensive line.
line.
Okay.
So if you're out west, they all are going through California. I mean, hell, California is basically the whole West Coast, geographically. So it's like you gotta be able to compete in California. So when you doing that, you gotta compete against USC and Oregon.
Like E Money said, Nebraska smacked them last year.
Yeah, yeah. And Nebraska going pretty solid this year. Even though they pulled off that win yesterday, but versus Cincinnati. So it's just like they're too small. You're too small. You go, man. You bring that Colorado team and you put them against Ohio or Michigan, like, and unless we even Iowa or something, like.
What Michigan figured out, Michigan is one of the rare teams that got the hybrids.
Mm,
We got a hybrid of a corn-fed guy,
mm,
but that's in shape,
yeah,
that's just faster. So
yeah,
instead of that 350, they more like
yeah.
280, but more athletic big boys.
Because what? We got Detroit right down the street. You know what I'm saying? Detroit can push them out. You know what I'm
Detroit, we
saying?
got some big
We got
boys.
some big boys, and we got
And
some
they
athletic boys.
athletic.
Yeah, they athletic. And then we can reach on Ohio, and they're a big enough brand that it's a worldwide brand. So it's just
And
like,
Michigan got the culture where it's like that 300 wall.
mm,
Even if I ain't the biggest, you gonna be the biggest. Like they just know how to do it in
yeah.
unison as a team, where they just pushing you back 5 yards.
That's how we've been beating Ohio. It's like our defensive line, our defense been dominated. I mean, Ohio has better skill player, well, wide receivers, quote unquote. They're wide receiver you, but they can if you can't throw the ball to them, it don't matter
We
because
pushing them
we're
boys
we're
back soon as
pushing
the hike.
we're pushing your center back to your quarterback, and then he's getting sacked or he's gonna get hurt and flustered, and he's gonna throw a pick, and that's how they've been winning. So it just comes down to, honestly, if Dion wants to be elite, ultimately, if Dion wants to be elite, he has to figure out the defensive end. I mean, the defensive line. That's it.
Like
Simple as that.
literally,
As
so
simple
that's
as that.
instead of spending the money on them skill players, make some of them literally look
Yeah.
for the best in the country and literally home in on them like, yo, how much money you want? We bringing you over
Yeah.
here. We gonna bring him over here and literally focus on that and hope your skill just
Yeah.
gonna figure it out.
Because the corners gonna gravitate to him. You can see all the flashy people going towards him, right? So
Hmm.
you got the QB because he's getting the ball all the time. The wide receivers, the corners, those are
The ones that's
more
gonna be on
on
TV and all this,
TV doing all that.
them big D line, we don't know their
Yeah,
name.
yeah, but they the most important. So it's like those other skilled players is going to gravitate towards prime. But if you're going to get down to it, get down to the nitty gritty, you want to win. I mean, you gotta figure out those big folks though.
Corey say Nebraska is an old school football club. They've been putting BTA.
Yeah,
D Will
they
say,
fell off about
yeah,
30 years.
yeah, they ain't been
Yeah,
popping. D Will said linebackers ain't dogs either. In
yeah, you ain't wrong. You
Colorado,
ain't wrong.
you build your teams from the inside out, so
Hmm.
you guys are right. Definitely, bro. I feel bad for Prime because it's like, first, this is your first time in the last. This your first time in your coaching career ever that I can say of you not coaching your sons, one of your sons. So it's like it's weird you not having your son because you can talk to your kid different than you can talk to other kids, and you
Yeah,
know exactly what's gonna get them. You know how to communicate with them to get them to do what you need to do. So you don't. So you missing that void. Obviously, you having problems in the QB room because you got that 5-star young boy that's not playing right now. So that other guy, he took his spot for some reason, and we see he's not him.
at least so far for this first game,
Yeah, it's
right?
first game. You know, it's first game. You at home, jitters, celebs. He ain't used to it. You
Yeah,
know,
it was I was at home too. They was in Colorado too. They was supposed to
and
come out with that.
Colorado, and after 3 turnovers, you got to win.
You gotta
Three
win, bro.
turnovers and giving up 0 at home, you just got to win that game. And I think at the end, it came down to Prime them had the ball, 3 minutes left,
Mm.
to two timeouts.
And then you left the game with 2 timeouts, which
You
is
left the
crazy.
game with 2 timeouts. Everybody that's in here. So, Hugh, we do have 2 days left. If you guys want to become a Hall of Famer, it's 2 days left. Only $20 right now. And Hugh can give y'all a promo code where y'all get extra 15% off.
Yeah, man. If you want to join this Discord or whatever, you got put in HUE15 again. HUE15, and you get 15% off the Discord. It's at an all-time low. It's not gonna be this low again ever. So you only got 2 days to take advantage of this. It's $20 if you want to take 15% more off that $20. Just put in HUE15.
And also, if you guys player profit, it ends up in that midnight. that is already over.
Dang, homie.
That one already ended. Yeah, man. Let's see. You got if Brian Kelly blows it at Clemson, they would give Prime
That's
a call.
probably.
Everybody want Prime.
I mean, I don't know. Because LSU was such a brand. Like I said, they're a blue blood team. So if Brian Kelly, yeah, that's a good one because he's probably on the biggest hot seat in college football. I think it's him and my man from USC. Like those two is like
Who at
one or two.
USC?
The guy who came from Oklahoma, he's the shoot. Don't give me.
Mm.
And, but Brian Kelly is number one when it comes down to
Why
hot
your
seat.
why your Spartans can't cover? They ain't my Spartans. They was my Spartans today because I took them to cover. You see, we got Michigan stuff on around here, but I at least expected Michigan State.
Lincoln Riley.
Lincoln Riley. Okay,
Yeah,
yep.
Lincoln
Wasn't he
Riley.
over in Nebraska?
He was at Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. That's
Yeah,
where it was
and he
at.
left them. He was the head. He was doing good at Oklahoma, but he wanted to be part of California life, which I can't be mad at.
Man, hell no, with that 50% state tax
Oh
and
yeah, that's rough.
man, hell no. I'll be
But
right on in Oklahoma.
you in LA though.
It depends how much more money y'all gave him.
See, there you go.
Yeah. Oklahoma's a better school right now. Like
No, I mean,
USC been irrelevant last 10 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
That
And,
been, yeah.
and Oklahoma been relevant the last
Yeah.
10 years.
Yeah, USC have been relevant since early 2000s for sure.
Make sure you guys hit that like button. We always want 50% participation. Let's get the likes up to
But
15. We need 2 more likes. Get the likes up to
I
15.
think Brian Kelly, he's under, let's say, Lincoln
Wasn't Brian
Riley,
Kelly the one that was at Notre Dame forever?
Yeah. He was
Couldn't get
over
the
there.
job done. Where he at now?
He at LSU.
Yeah, and he's
Losing.
bumming it. And he
Losing.
bumming it at LSU.
Yeah, he was going to bring on Bryce Underwood, but got
Man,
snatched out.
he could have had him. Man, we would have been brutal. We would have been crying
Oh, for sure.
this year going like, man, Bryce, because we rooting for him but hating on him. Man, I'm so happy we got him. I can't wait to see.
That was one of the biggest game changer moves that they pulled. They was like, no, forget that. No, this is what we're going to do.
Paid that big bucks.
And that's going to what I kind of said before. Think about Bryce Underwood was #1 recruit last year coming off of high school, and he's from Michigan.
That's crazy.
So you're not getting that out of Colorado.
Quincy said Brian Kelly is 0-4 season openers at LSU.
That's wild.
Bro, I would be playing a damn HBCU or something first game. I ain't going. That's brutal.
And you gotta think, he don't have an excuse. Like at
You got
Notre
the
Dame,
recruits.
quote unquote, he had an excuse until Freeman made it happen. And don't get me wrong, NIL changed it for everybody. Because if he had NIL probably in Notre Dame, he would probably be better because Notre Dame is a rich school, but in the South was paying people right before then, right? So he would, but now it tide changes. Michigan, rich school. Notre Dame, rich school. You know what I'm saying? These Midwest wealthy schools can compete because they can push out more money than maybe LSU can. Notre Dame can pay more than LSU. Why can't they? You know what I'm saying? So Michigan did pay more than LSU. But before then, where everything was on the hush, you know what I'm saying? Get these keys over here. You gotta, scat pack or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Then you can pull that player. But now we can all give them these things. Now what we're talking about, So
yeah, that make more sense. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because I always said in college, this is my philosophy. See if you agree with this. I always said in high school, it's all about the most athletic player on the team. The most athletic player on the team is usually the quarterback, and a quarterback that can run, throw. He's your running back. He's everything, and you're going to win if you got the most athletic person on the field in high school. In college, it's 100% of whoever got the best coach. If you got the #1 coach, you look at the Urban Meyers, the Nick Sabans, you got the best coach, you usually win. Jim Harbaugh. When it gets to the NFL, it comes down to the best team and the best system, or you even could go to the owners. Like, what would you think that last one with the NFL? I would say it's to the best
QB.
The best quarterback, the best player. That's a quarterback.
It would go.
It's tough in that one.
It's GM. QB coach, I think.
The best organization. Whoever got the best organization head from the
GM's a star. GM is a star.
GM, yep.
And then however you want to do it, either go coach QB or QB coach. But, I mean, they get paid way more than everybody else for a reason. So, I'm going to say quarterback. Because even with, let's say, Andy Reid being a great coach, but haven't won a championship until he got P. Homie, right? And then we're going to say Bill Belichick, what he do before or after Tom Brady.
He ain't do nothing without the quarterback. So the NFL is a combo. It's a one. That's a real good one. NFL is a 1-2 punch. It usually is quarterback and coach, GM and coach, or GM and quarterback. Because literally you can go to each of the last 10 champions and probably 8 out of 10, you got a 2 combo.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
You got two combos, so it's definitely that. But at this point, we have to put QB over coach. We got to because
yeah.
it's that shines a little bit more. We can say because even with Peyton Manny, who's the what was the coach for the black coach for Indianapolis when Peyton Manning was there?
Jim Caldwell.
No, that was the quarterback coach.
Oh, it was I had him on my flight too. Got a picture with him. I can't think of his
Yeah,
name.
but right, but we all knew Peyton Manning was he was the offensive coordinator. He was everything, and then we went over there
Tony
down
Dungy.
to Tony
That's
Dungy.
thank you,
There we
JC.
go. Thanks, JC. Tony Dungy. He, it was Peyton Manning's team. A Rod. We could go on and on. So it's just the QB. It's a QB league. So I'll say GM QB coach. I'll put in that order.
D says not all the time the best coach win in college. Yeah, nothing is
Yeah.
100% always, but the best teams that's always in it
Yeah.
are usually the teams that got the best coach.
You gotta have the brand and you gotta have the coach.
Alabama, been in it the last 10 years, had the best coach. Clemson
Yeah,
was in it.
that was another one that just kind of snuck
That
through in the
snuck in.
last
That was
20
one that
years.
snuck in. That's one that snuck
They
in.
haven't been ultimate in power, but they snuck in. Them and Oregon so far.
Then remember, Jim Harbaugh ended up being like one of the highest paid and best coaches.
Yeah, and
He got us a championship.
Yep, and he came from not only the league, he came from Stanford, which he made Stanford a powerhouse at the
How many
time.
championships did Urban Meyer get?
Urban Meyer got 2 in Florida and 1 in Ohio.
The best coach.
Yeah.
You just think of the biggest coaches' names in college football. Usually win championships or in the hunt. Outside of like the Brian Callies because he got a name, but he ain't proved nothing. You got one that broke through. You need some water, so one that broke through was that Ohio State coach last year because he kept on choking, but they had the most expensive team in all of college.
21 million, I think. So, but Ohio is one of the most premier brands in the league, right?
There goes somebody. Oh, he said best coach or best resources. Resources 100.
Oh, resources for sure.
That is probably more
the
Trump
brand.
than coach
That's the
because
brand.
if you don't get the resource, like if you got the resource, you could pay for the best coach. You could pay for the best team. Michigan, Ohio, like Texas. If you don't got no money, you can't compete.
All right, let me hit you with this, right? Ohio, since we're there, right? The way Ohio that nobody thinks about or talks about with Ohio is they have the most access to resources out of any school in the nation.
Why is that?
Hear me out. Michigan, what's their in-state rival?
Michigan State.
How many schools is in Florida that you can name up that's powerhouses?
That's powerhouses. You got Florida. You got FSU. You got
Miami.
Yeah, you got
Texas. How many schools?
50.
50. California.
You got like literally.
So, Ohio, who's their biggest rival in state?
They don't have
exactly. So you have a strong football state and recruiting wise, right?
Yeah,
and you're the only game in town. Picture Michigan State and Michigan being one. How dominant would they be?
Better. Yeah, because Michigan State is more like because that's not a rival because Ohio State, because Ohio is irrelevant. Cincinnati is irrelevant. They're getting better.
Yeah,
but they don't even play Cincinnati.
Yeah. So and they're like in a whole minor conference.
Yeah, they're not in the same conference. Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
They're the only game. Alabama got Auburn, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're really clearing the whole
state of Ohio
by themselves. The only one that's close to that is Georgia. Georgia Tech is the closest, but we know they don't pull. So
yeah.
So it's just like
Georgia don't get no more. Georgia don't get no other.
Not that I can think of off top.
Nothing I could think of.
So, so it's like Ohio and Georgia. Ohio can clear the whole state. They're number one in game in town, man.
Y'all think Andrew Luck going to turn Stanford around? Andrew Luck, the head coach over there?
Is he? I
I
seen him doing some type of press conference. He could be.
That'd be wild. And Stanford getting in at Stanford, your first go around, he can't be the head coach.
No,
He must be on the coaching
yeah,
staff or
Frank
something.
Reach.
Just type in Andrew Luck, see where
Okay.
he's at.
Head coach as announced Monday by general manager Andrew Luck. He's the
Oh, he's the
general manager.
GM.
Yeah, he's GM.
Shit, that's better than the head coach. I was just talking about Stanford because Stanford have a great organization because when they got Jim Harbaugh, the team got better every single time. He got recruited Andrew
Yeah.
Luck.
They're the Michigan of the West, as far as like academics wise, right?
I don't see why not. Why not?
They're in California, so that's a rich recruiting school, but they have
It's
to
going to be
clear the
hard to
bar.
get. It's going to be hard to get the athletes because the academic standards is going to be high and hard to get people in. Michigan, some way, somehow, figure it out. I don't know how.
They gonna let you. They gonna clear the bar if you can play football.
In Michigan, we figure it out because getting to Michigan, you gotta be like a 4.0 student.
Yeah. So they're gonna clear the ball for their athletes. Stanford might not. Vanderbilt doesn't. I think Georgia Tech the same way. That's why they don't get it.
Northwestern randomly is the top.
Yeah, Northwestern.
So, Ohio State get players from all over the country. Yeah. But Ohio actually have good homebred players. They just usually come to Michigan a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it's a top 5 in recruiting. State. I was California, Texas, Florida, Georgia,
and
Ohio. So,
Michigan like top 12 probably.
Yeah, we like top 12, you know. Louisiana, you know what I'm saying, is probably in the top 12 or something.
Yeah, how do they figure that out, bro? Genius.
So it's just like they're top 5, period. I would say Florida number 1. Texas number 2. California, just because the mass of people in there, it's number 3.
Then you just rest gonna be Florida.
Florida, Ohio, or Georgia. It's one. You know what I'm saying? At that point, you just splitting hairs. But they are like, far as recruit wise, they push them out, yo. Like I said, Michigan gets a lot of them. Michigan get a lot of Ohio. Hell, Charles Woodson from Ohio. You know, it's a lot of people.
What's crazy? Michigan steal a lot of Ohio best players, but Ohio don't steal a lot of Michigan best players.
Not
they
anymore.
Get some. They got some.
They did it when Jim Trussell was there, and we was bumming up.
Yeah.
So they was doing it there.
But historically, overall, we usually steal there because we stole Trey Burke. Wasn't Trey Burke was Ohio Player of the Year?
What? No, he was Illinois.
You sure?
90%.
Double check that. I thought Trey Burke was from Ohio.
No, he was Illinois or Indiana. I'm saying.
See, Trey Burke. For some reason, I'm telling you, I think he was Ohio. Where he's from? Columbus, Ohio.
Oh shit!
I'm trying to tell you, bro. He's from Columbus, Ohio. Trey Burke, bro. Oh, he was like Ohio. He was Ohio like player of the year.
Good call.
Yeah, come on, baby. Hey,
you should have put some money on that.
1 point, Lando.
You could have been getting them back.
You were too confident, bro.
I was.
You were too confident. I couldn't say it with my chest. You were too ready. Michigan versus Oklahoma next week. That's going to be great. I like an early competition early. I like us against Oklahoma.
Yeah, and honestly,
I love good competition early in the season because it really don't hinder.
I was gonna say that.
Because like, for example, today we got Texas and Ohio State. No matter who win, no matter who lose, it don't hurt them at all.
They could still win each other conference, so it doesn't. And it's just it's probably a seeding type of situation, but it's not gonna hurt your season, either way, which is solid. And that's where our head coach is from. Well, that's what he played at. He played at Oklahoma.
Who?
Our Michigan head coach.
Sherman Moore.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
Moore. He was offensive lineman at Oklahoma
Say
State.
Michigan probably paid him more. Oh, talking about Trey Burke. Back then,
Worth
probably,
it. Worth
yeah, it
it.
was worth it.
It was worth it. I'll tell you that.
Yep, it's definitely worth it. So I'm excited about tomorrow. We got some good games. End of the story, Colorado. Looking like a losing season.
It may be 5 games.
How many before we end? How many games do you have Colorado winning? I counted 4 and a possible. I'm aiming for 6. They do 6,
Hopefully.
I'd be happy. But it's gonna be a brutal. It's gonna be a brutal season, losing the star power they
That mess
did.
around lose to Delaware and it's over.
They lose to Delaware. Throw in the towel, baby. Throw in the towel. It's okay. It's the first game. Yeah, it's the first game, but
At home.
you usually show who you are.
And Georgia Tech is supposed to be, they're not a world beater. And they're not one of the hardest games you got on your schedule. So you gotta take the easy wins where you can get. I'm not. Easy,
it wasn't an easy win. They just
You
they
gotta
just
take the
you,
lesser.
You got to take
of the
advantage of the
evils.
opportunity. Somebody give you 3 turnovers at home, you got to win the game. It's football. You got to win the game. You got to figure it out. So I already could tell where first game, even if they play good second game, when a defense give up 156 yards to a quarterback rushing and 3 touchdowns, and y'all had a chance to go to halftime, talk about it, adjust, and y'all still got cooked. Ain't no helping that.
Yeah.
All season. It ain't nothing you can do. Y'all just bad.
And you can't get bigger on the defensive line.
It's nothing you can do.
They can't genetically just get 300.
I say Colorado finish 8-4. That's crazy. I would love for that to happen.
I'll put $1 on it. Bet your boy $1.
Yeah, put $1 on that. You got to cash app you because I triple that for $3. Cause pay that up. I'll take that over under 8 games. $100 to your just a bucket of poop.
Yeah, man.
I love to see that one after watching that first game. It's gonna be brutal, bro. I got Colorado winning 9, at least 7. Oh, y'all are crazy.
Oh yeah, put $2 on.
Y'all are crazy.
Keep coming back. Look, we'll do another live.
Cause we'll be live next game. Cause at least they got Delaware. They gonna start off 1-1. There's no way. There's no way they can lose in Delaware. Is it at home too?
Most likely.
They might. Yeah, first 2 games probably at home
because they're the bigger school and Delaware came.
Yeah, Delaware.
And they give them that paycheck.
They giving them that money, so it's like we paying y'all to just lose. So yeah, so it should be at home.
Maybe.
Man, I don't trust when the defense that bad. You can put me as quarterback, bro. I would have had 50 yards and 1 touchdown. Right now, me as quarterback. You give up 3 touchdowns, 156,
Man,
you're just not good.
Yeah.
He said they gave up 500 yards in total. I think they said 3 something on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
That's brutal. What do you think Michigan finished the season? That's a great question.
Undefeated.
Bang,
bang.
All right, pull up Michigan's schedule real quick. I'll tell you, because me, I'm honest.
I'm be honest.
He was going to be biased. My thing, I just hope if we lose, I hope we lose early. All right, so no, that's last year. You got it. Click it. Go back to what you. Yep, scroll the other way. Oh, you scrolling the wrong way, Hugh.
All right.
See, y'all don't be doing this. All right, calm down, Hugh. Damn. Man,
I got it.
Slow, man. Why you so slow?
Leave me alone, dog.
Damn.
There we go. New Mexico.
Fingers ain't right. All right, we're beating New Mexico. We're gonna blow them out. Michigan versus Oklahoma. That's a great test. We could possibly lose that game. Let's say I'm gonna call that a loss. We should win it. We gonna destroy Central Michigan. We gonna destroy Nebraska, but when Nebraska gonna mess around and be close, but we'll beat
I mean,
them.
we ain't gonna have our head coach for this game.
Yeah.
Our center,
Wisconsin is gonna be close. We'll beat them.
T-Pain, Wisconsin.
USC can randomly try to upset us. So let me be nice. That's a pause game. Washington is not gonna beat us. Michigan State gonna get destroyed. Purdue will be close. We'll beat them. I hate playing Northwestern. We always win, but it's always a nail biter. Maryland will beat Maryland. So I have us losing, and we're gonna beat Ohio State in Michigan.
I just want to make sure
we gonna
you didn't finish this out.
We gonna beat Ohio State in Michigan. We beat them last year with our pants on the ground.
I was throwing better than the QB last year, yo.
Yeah. So I got us losing one in a possible. So at the most, I only see us losing 2 games. My one, I said Oklahoma, and a possible random game like USC. And we do that and beat Ohio State. Our ranked games we're playing. The problem is we don't have a tough schedule. We only play Oklahoma and Michigan. Oklahoma and Ohio State are only ranks. So we really need to go undefeated.
Not really.
For us to even be considered, bro.
The brand would get us in there. At this point, you gotta think the bar's not set that high anymore to make sure the.
Oh, I forget it's a million teams now.
It's like 12 teams. Bro. We'll
yeah.
Make it. If we don't lose 2, Michigan will make it.
Michigan will make it if we lose.
If it was 4,
1 game guaranteed.
Yeah, but
2, you lose the right 2. You can't lose to, hopefully, say if UFC beat us. We hope they finish number 10 or something. They end up being a good team. We can't have them just being a bum team and beating us.
At the end of the day, a 2-loss Michigan team or any of the Blue Bloods, they're gonna make it to the college football playoffs. That's just
as a diehard Oklahoma Sooner fan. I think we finished the season 11-1, losing against Michigan. He ain't say that, but that's what he wanted to say because he said 1, and it's only 1 loss. Michigan.
Y'all, let's see.
Let's look at Oklahoma's schedule. We'll be honest. Who's y'all quarterback?
Exactly. Y'all don't.
What y'all got going on? All right, we got Illinois State. Y'all gonna beat them.
Y'all better beat them.
Better beat them.
Y'all gonna lose to Michigan, and then
Temple. Y'all gonna beat Temple. Auburn and Russ randomly probably upset y'all.
Yeah.
Kent State. Y'all gonna destroy Kent State. Texas. Ooh, that Oklahoma-Texas game is always money.
Randomly, y'all be having it for Texas.
Y'all show up for Texas. Y'all will mess around and upset Texas. I give y'all that one. But y'all will probably lose to South Carolina and South Carolina.
I think our biggest thing is y'all QB isn't the most highly rated either. Y'all have a really good defense. Y'all probably have a top
y'all actually
5 to 7 defense.
Y'all got a tough schedule, bro. Yeah. South Carolina and South Carolina, them Gamecocks gonna mess around and cock y'all.
Ole Miss, y'all mess around.
Y'all to beat Ole Miss, it'd be a high scoring
game.
Tennessee, y'all to beat Tennessee. Alabama, y'all will mess around and beat Alabama.
No, they'll lose to Alabama. LSU.
It's in Alabama. They still beat them. Y'all got number rank. Y'all got a tough schedule. Yeah. I don't know how the hell you got only 1 loss out of that tough schedule.
I'm looking at
4. You're very biased.
Easy 4.
Very biased. We most definitely beat Michigan next week. Yeah, you're very biased.
Oh, man, that was one of your losses that you counted.
If they can get that defense together, consistent offense, probably 6 with an upset game, LOL. So-and-so say we don't have a QB. So y'all saying all this with Oklahoma, y'all don't got no QB?
Yeah. Y'all just have a defense. And
the quarterback is a guy who transferred from Washington State University, John. I can't even pronounce this. If y'all quarterback is somebody that's transferred from Washington State, y'all cooked, bro.
Yeah.
Y'all cooked. Y'all ain't no quarterback transfer from Washington State is beating Bryce Underwood. And Michigan defense.
Because we have a top 3 defense.
We always gonna have a top defense.
And yeah, man.
So we got a QB. Y'all about to find out. We'll see. Y'all just beat who they first team they playing.
It was like Illinois State.
Y'all just beat. Y'all worry about Illinois State.
Where is Illinois State? 1, 2, 3. Put it in the comments.
In Illinois.
What city?
Springfield, Illinois.
That's a good guess.
That's a good guess. What do you think? You can't. Well, you've been in Illinois enough.
No.
Drive through it.
Yeah, I know. There's already a school in Champaign, Illinois. Ain't Illinois in Champaign,
I have
Illinois?
no idea.
The only other thing I can think of Champaign, Illinois.
Let's see, where is it?
Let's see if I click on it. Okay.
And they look like the car.
Yeah, they do.
They look like St. Louis team. Penn State will win the Big Ten. Penn State been randomly good.
Man, they've been trying to win. Man,
Yeah,
they
they
the
get
most overrated.
so much better randomly, and they just be winning. I don't like Penn State.
They can't win the big game, yo.
That first one. It is in
Normal,
Illinois. We would have never guessed that. So, we gave y'all a good hour. Make sure y'all hit the like button, subscribe button, all that good stuff. And we will tap in with y'all. Y'all better ask y'all coach about OU football. Did he go to OU?
yeah.
Okay.
Offensive line.
There you go. We out of here.